Hey guys, Stamina here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys 5 tips to instantly win more games in Counter-Strike 2. But before we get into the video, let's have a quick word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is an automated Counter-Strike 2 trading site that provides an instant way to get new skins. One of my favorite things about Skins Monkey is that I can take skins that I no longer want and trade up for a better skin at equal value. If you use code STAMINA, you can get up to a $5 bonus on your first trade. You can also use Skins Monkey to purchase skins, and if you top up your balance, you can get a 35% bonus. So head over to Skins Monkey today to make your first trader's purchase. Now back to the video. So one of the most important things in Counter-Strike to master is support flashing, and support flashing is really a detailed concept, but there's one part of this concept that is very, very simple that every player needs to understand. And it's the idea of throwing flashes that are communicated, but they don't actually need to be played around. See, if I wanted to flash for my teammate into ramp, okay, and he's playing right here and I want to flash him in, I need to tell him when I'm throwing it. He needs to tell me that he's ready, and then I can throw that flash so that he's not getting blind, right? But if my teammate's playing default on Mirage and the opponents are rushing out ramp and Palace, I need to be throwing flashes almost before he calls for them. I don't have time as a connector player to be like, oh, do you want me to flash for you? And he's like, yeah, flash for me. He's already dead at this point, right? If they're running out A, on this utility flying over and on them coming out to Tetris, these flashes already need to be happening. So what you can do in Counter-Strike is you can flash behind your teammates based on where they're positioned. So if I'm playing default, I'm looking toward ramp. Okay, and everybody's coming from in front of me. I'm looking here, I'm looking here, I'm looking here. And if I know that everybody's coming in front of me, where can I not get blind? I cannot get blind to flashes that are landing firebox. So if I'm a connector player and I feel like people are coming out A, I can bomb flashes out like this. And in turn, I can actually peek off of my teammate's contact. So once he gets these flashes and he starts fighting people that are coming out ramp, they're blind coming out ramp and they're looking for him. And while they're all focused on him, now I can peek off his contact and I can make sure that I'm trading him. And knowing support flashes like this is super important. Now, if your teammate was triple, you could do the exact same thing by just flashing above triple. And these flashes, again, aren't going to blind your teammate, so you don't have to communicate back and forth and lose the timing on your support for your teammate. This is something you can do on every single map. Mirage was just the best example. This is something you need to add into your play if you want to become a great player. So communication is one of the most important things in Counter-Strike 2, and when you're communicating, it's important to understand that communicating what you see isn't always as important as communicating as what could happen. So in this scenario, I get smoked off outside. Now there is an inherent timing of when these players can actually be down secret, and this timing is created from the fact that once these smokes land, they still have to go and cross the smokes and run down secret. Now, as a yard player, I could do a lot of different things to slow them down. I could Molotov top secret, I could HE the smoke grenades, or I could simply be on this line up until the smokes land and know that they now have to run from this point to this point before they're down secret. Now, I'm always gonna have a teammate rotate lower in this scenario, whether they come from ramp or whether they come from vent. And communicating to my teammates, hey guys, they smoked outside, isn't enough. I need to follow that up by saying, guys, they threw outside smokes. And then after this, once I think and know that they could be down lower, I need to say, guys, they could already be down lower. Guys, they can be down lower. Whatever the case might be, you need to expand your communication to the point where you're explaining what could be happening or what may be happened. And a good rule of thumb is, if you don't know, then that means that they could be. And if you do know, then they can't be. And it's that simple. And if you're always communicating like this, you'll raise the level of your teammates because they're no longer going to get caught off guard in rotations to different parts of the map. And this applies on every single map. I wanted to take a quick break from the video to let you guys know that I actually do paid coaching over on Metafy. I'll leave a link in the description. I've done over 200 sessions in the last 16 months on Metafy, and I've been ranked the top mentor on the platform 9 out of the 16 months. So if you're interested in any coaching, head over there. I've got a really nice schedule. Anyways, back to the video. So this next concept is playing to live when your teammate is flanking, and this concept is super important. And for me, it's one of my personal pet peeves when I play pugs or FPL or whatever the case might be. Let's just give you a hypothetical. Let's say I've pushed through halls and in the process mid was smoked, so my teammates know nobody's through mid. If I get to this point and I realize that there's nobody alt mid and there's nobody mid, it's likely going to be B. And once I confirm, guys, it's going to be B, it's really important now that these B players play to live, Because if they actually decide that they're going to fight, maybe they're playing around the corner and they get a coffin flash and they fight. Maybe they are playing from spawn and coffin and the nades start coming in and they just peek and they die. Maybe they go 1-for-1. They are not making it hard enough on the T's. And once the T's know that they have the number advantage or that the site should be clear, they're going to turn around and look at their flanks, right? Because they no longer have to worry. But if these players both play to live, and let's say hypothetically this coffin player mollies the standard bomb plant spot, and maybe the spawn player breaks the smoke and just flashes, or maybe he just spams as they're running in and maybe gets a free kill. Now we're in a situation where their sole focus is making sure nobody runs through the coffin smoke, nobody runs through the spawn smoke, nobody boosts, right? This guy's got to get the bomb down after the Molotov. And all of this is just creating chaos so that my flank has a better timing and a higher efficacy, really, right? I'm going to flank in here and I'm going to catch this guy holding for the coffin, push. I'm going to kill the bomb planter. And now we're in a 5 versus 3 and the T's don't even have the bomb down. This is super, super important. And you need to make sure that you're doing this in every time you play the game, whether it's a pug, Premier, you know, whatever the case might be. You need to make sure that you are playing to live in these scenarios when you have a teammate on the flank, because that teammate on the flank will typically win you the round. The next tip I'm going to explain is buying for the round at hand. Now, this concept is really important in pugs, and I see this issue all the time when I'm playing. And basically, the concept is pretty simple. If you have, you know, a worse economy, people will still just look to buy the best weapon. But the utility that you use often is actually going to lead you more frequently to a round win. Most pugs and most lower level games in Counter-Strike in general are won in the first 30 seconds of the round. Let me explain. Let's say I'm the cheetah player and I decide that I'm just going to buy an M4. When I run over to this bomb site and all I have is an M4, if they rush up the ramp, right, they're going to use a smoke here, maybe a smoke here, maybe a molly pillar flashes over. What is my counterplay? Right? I have nowhere I can stand without burning. I have nowhere I can stand without being smoked off. And I'm going to be blind. But if I have a utility set, right, hypothetically, and I'm playing around here, and they molly pillar, I could smoke that molly and play around it. I could throw a flash out. I could Molotov their ramp progression, whatever the case might be, and I could potentially get some free kills, right? But if I'm going into cheetah, same thing applies, right? If I run in here and I just have an M4, they're going to molly me back cheetah, right? I cannot molly off this wall. I can't molly shelf. I can't HE them. I can't stop them from doing anything, right? So in this situation, making sure that I buy a FAMAS and utility is typically going to give me a higher percentage chance of winning this round, because now I can molly shelf. I can HE off the wall. And if this player decides that they're going to BM through my molly, I'm fighting somebody that has 50 HP max, right? Realistically. And at that point, if I get that kill, now we're in a 5 versus 4. I smoke off the shelf. Maybe my teammates lock down mid, whatever the case might be. Now, there is a time and a place to just buy a weapon. Let's just say, hypothetically, my teammates call, hey guys, they're not defaulting anybody at A. Let's do an A main push. If all you can afford is an M4, and you're going to double push A main with your teammates, this is okay. Because now we're running over toward A, and we're taking an early round timing, and we're walk pushing through A main, and we're expecting to find people in this position who don't expect us to be here at this early timing. And now if we win that fight and that one-on-one, we have the man advantage, and the utility wasn't that important in this scenario. So make sure that when you're playing Counter-Strike, you're constantly thinking about the scenario that you're in. If you are going to play a close range position, you can buy a shotgun or an SMG. If you are playing a bomb site that requires you to have utility to lock it down, focus on getting that utility over the weapon. And if you're going to make an aggressive play where you have a high likelihood of dying, but maybe coming away with 1 or 2 kills, then you can focus on buying just the weapon that's going to suit that situation. The last tip I'm going to talk about is using your utility. I can't stress how important it is to use your utility if you're going to buy it. There is no rule that states when you spawn into a round of Counter-Strike, you have to buy utility. But if you're going to buy this utility, why not use it before you die? Let me give you an example. Most monster players are typically going to start by jumping out of heaven, and they're going to look to Molotov monster. Now, after this Molotov, if the T's look to rush out and they come out with flashes, or whatever the case might be, maybe they don't come out with flashes, and I spot them coming out. If I spot them and I immediately look to reface, I'm putting myself at a major disadvantage. See, they have an AK and I'm at a headshot angle. Their ability to just kill me in a straight one-on-one raw duel is really high. But if I'm this barrel player and I notice that they're coming out, the second I spot them, if I drop a smoke and flash off the pillar and communicate to my teammates that, look, they're coming B, all of a sudden there's a instant shift in the defense, right? My teammates are rotating in, whether that comes from connector or heaven. Maybe my A rotators are throwing flashes for monster behind me to throw some support flashes that I don't have to look away from. And this chaos often, in almost all situations, favors the CTs, right? Because the Ts, right, they've already given away their play. They're coming B. But as soon as they get stuffed off from wherever they want to scale to, right, their goal would definitely be to come kill you here and push into pit. As soon as this can no longer happen and you change, you know, the pathing that they have to take and their ability to get these opening kills on you, the harder it gets for them and the more likely that your team wins the game, even if you don't get a kill from it. So it's really important that if you're going to buy utility, you should often look to use it before you die instead of just facing and trying to be the hero and getting all the kills to secure the round win that way. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up and let me know below what you guys would like to see next. I've got another video on how to default on the T side of Inferno coming on Monday, so be on the lookout for that. Peace out, guys.